Welcome back, Computer Art. Today is 8 Gradient Mesh. Within this folder you have a choice to create either cherry or pepper. Basically, gradient meshes are using highlights and shadows on a kind of a vector piece of artwork to create a more realistic effect. And you're just going to drop color swatches onto anchor points is basically what we're going to do to get this effect. So I've opened up the cherry folder, and this illustrates a pair of gradient mesh cherries. Word document. It looks something like this, and it's a pretty general tutorial. We borrowed it from online, of course, but this is the end result. We're going to start from here, and you're going to have to put a little bit of insight into what the two steps are telling you, but for the most part, the gradient mesh is pretty cut and dry. So to start, we're going to copy and paste a couple images. We want you to grab this one and this image over to Illustrator. You can control click, or you can right click, hit copy, and bring it on over to Illustrator, paste it in. First thing we need to do is set up our color swatch guide, okay, with a folder. Okay, so because we need to get these colors laid out for us, because that's what we're going to use. So up here in our color swatches, we're going to click on a new color group and label it cherries, or cherry, and that'll be right down here. And then in our color, we want to make sure that we have RGB selected, just for screen res. CMYK is really for printing, which would be good if we want to print it out. If we want to print out this this cherry, but for our purposes for this class and this formative assignment, we are going to just use RGB. So let's choose RGB, and we're just going to start typing in these coordinates here and go to town. 145. 141, hit enter, and it'll turn to this pink color. So what we're going to do is grab this color swatch and drag it to our folder, and there it is. Okay, next number 85, 01, enter. A dark deep red tone, cherry red, kind of actually more burgundy, I guess. 171, next one, by 26, and 45. Enter. There's a crimson. Next one, 164, 18, 38. Enter. Take this one over. Last but not least, we have a dark wine red, 7. Okay, so we have our 5 cherry colors here. Now that we have those set, we can double click on these colors and give them a name. So I'll just name this one 1, because that's what the tutorial says. Click OK. Name this one 2. This one's going to be 3. Double click on this one. It's going to be 4. And last, we're going to double click on this swatch for 5. Okay. Ready to go. I think later on we'll grab some colors for the leaf and the stem as well, but for the most part that's going to get us started. First thing we got to do is zoom in on our cherry. We want to trace this out. Okay. We're going to use the pen tool and just trace around, try to get it smooth. Start here, trace around this cherry shape. Undo that. Let's go back to here. Give it a slight little bend downward like that. That'll do fine. Okay. Next step is we're going to use the mesh tool, gradient mesh, or you can hit U on your keyboard. That'll do the same thing. Let's click off of here, go back to the gradient mesh, or hit U on our keyboard. We're going to start down here and just click in anywhere, and notice what happens. If we click anywhere on the shape, we get a kind of a XY kind of axis plane going on here, only with curves and handles and things like that. If we click on the edge, it'll give us just one line without the other vertical or the y-axis. And it's not a perfect science. You'd think it would be more, curved, and it's like because we have certain edges on our initial trace, it's not giving us clean curves and things. But that's all right. We'll just work with it. With gradient meshes, you don't need to go nuts. I think you only need a few to get the job done. So I think this will do fine for us. So just all you have to do is just click around and set your anchor points. And a mesh is really just what a mesh is it's gonna look like a net, to set up this kind of netting look. All right. Now that we have that, we can go back to our tutorial and I just want to take a look and see what the final result looks like. If you scroll down, you can go through all of this. It kind of takes you through the steps, but they're just very subtle with the application of highlights and shadows. And it's taken into the stem. So we're just going to doctor this up a bit. We're going to go to our direct selection tool, and now we're just going to start. Actually, let's move this over to the side. Let's grab this and just move it off to the side so we can see our cherry. And our direct selection tool, we're just going to start notice here's a shadow, a dark pit spot, here's a highlight, and we have some mid-tones and everything in there. So we're going to try to hit those up a little bit. So let's hit this highlight first. And you just click on an anchor point. Now I have my Smart Guides chosen here, so that's Shift U on your keyboard if you like that option. I'm just going to go ahead and hold down Shift and click on these anchor points. You hold down Shift, you can select multiple anchor points. And now I'm going to do is go to my swatch folder and click on the first number 1. Okay, it kind of gives us that highlight. If I click on this anchor point alone, if I choose a white color, it'll put a nice little highlight in there for me. Okay. Let's go around the edge. Let's get some of this shadow in there, and you can work around. You may need to add more mesh points if you're not getting the proper effect that you're interested in. Okay, there's a nice shadow for us. Let's put some of those mid-tones in there. Select all through here, and then select a nice bright red tone like that. Okay, let's see what alright, so let's go back and try to hit that again. Right up in here. Let's put a dark tone in there. And once again, you have to play around with it. Get it to your liking. This might be easier if I just zip. Move this down. There we go. I want to kind of refer to what they kind of created here. Okay, so I'm going to move my picture up just like so and work from Illustrator. Here we go, and then I can get this might be a little bit too bright now that I see it. I kind of like what their results are here, so I can choose this one here and you get the picture. Actually, I'm going to make these two that color as well. And just select these two and make them white. Whoops. There we go. That should do it. Turn this back to a red color. Okay, I'm going to hit this spot with a okay, well, you guys get the picture. That is gradient mesh. Play around with it. Try to match what you see here, and you know, follow along the tutorial if you'd like. But that's for the most part it on the cherry. The next tutorial will be for the stem. All right, so good luck.